Good time, folks, and welcome to the very first episode of the Chaoticast, joined by Mr. Canaz Gaming.
Hello.
Who is currently not
ladies and gentlemen.
Who's currently not on his computer.
No, I'm not. I'm on my phone because my computer refuses to update.
I would like to point out, for those of you that are listening to this at home from the comfort of your own home. Well, I'm Chase, by the way. I almost forgot to do this. Hello, this glorious voice you hear is Chase. I'd like to point out that we are currently recording this about an hour later than we had initially planned.
Around, yeah. More like almost 2 hours, but yeah.
No, because we initially planned for 9. Because you weren't.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Because you weren't going to be at your destination till a little after 8, and we wanted to leave like 30 to 45 minutes, kind of like margin for error.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I'd like to preface that. Actually, first off, if you're listening to this and you just so happen to be under the age of 18, you shouldn't be listening to this because we do swear a lot. And I mean a lot. So
yeah, please, if you're underage, don't listen to this.
Don't, yeah.
Or do. We can control what you do.
If you have parental guidance, yes, I turned off channel points. We are streaming this live on Twitch, twitch.tv/itsachas. I turned off channel points because I don't trust you guys to not start screwing with me. So I turned off channel points, and I'm only going to turn off channel points for the Chaoticast because I do not want you guys to be like, oh, I redeemed this. Why didn't you do the thing? Because we are having a nice, calm, cool, collected, meaningful debate on this podcast, which this podcast is something that we literally just came up with. There's no reason for it existing other than the fact of Canaz and I like talking to each other, and we decided we don't do it enough, so we're gonna force this by recording us talking to each other. That's basically it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So this way we're actually gonna force talking to each other. I know talking to me is such a pain in the ass. I don't know.
It is.
I don't know how. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how y'all have been putting up with it for 4 years.
It's a mystery.
I mean, mad respect. I mean, for you, 4 years. For Justin, like 22. He's been dealing with my dumbass.
Yeah, Justin is a saint.
I mean, PB, yeah, about 4 years. I mean, she was kind of early on with the LOC.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, here we are. So in this, basically just two nerds talking about gaming, talking about movies, film industry, because we actually both work/have worked inside of the film industry. I mean, we nicknamed Canaz Mr. Hollywood for a motherfucking reason, and it's not because of the film industry, funnily enough. You'll hear stories about that on this podcast. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
One more kind of little housekeeping thing. This will be a weekly show on YouTube and Spotify for the time being. We might expand our horizons to other platforms. Do leave a comment if there is any other platforms you'd like to see us look into, preferably that doesn't cost us money. And also, this technically isn't the first episode that we've recorded. It will probably be the first one that we air. So there will be an episode 0 coming out roughly the same time as this one. Episode 0 was literally just completely random. We had no plan. We were the only two doing available one night. We're like, we're just going to record talking to each other. And
especially because we didn't know if I was going to drop because of my internet.
Yeah, so we didn't want to.
I was in the middle of a storm.
Mm-hmm. We didn't want to do any games or anything. And Justin says a train platform. So we now, I did say something that does not cost money, and I'm pretty sure trying to put this on a train platform is going to cost a shit ton of money. Just saying.
At least it's gonna hurt, at the very least.
That is also true. However, I don't know your exact location right now, Canaz, so you could be recording this from an old train platform for all I know.
Toot, toot.
I will whack.
No, I am currently in a tiny little town in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, it's just that sounds like my normal Monday through Sunday. My Monday through Monday.
Yeah.
So, I mean, would you like to add anything to what this podcast is, good sir?
Chaos. Just pure unbridled chaos.
This is also true. This is also very true. I mean, again,
Like,
we were late for the very first
it's
fucking
us.
episode.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. It's us. The episode 0 makes no sense at all.
No, it doesn't. We literally talked about no
Everything.
spoilers. No spoilers. You got to go listen to it yourself. No spoilers.
Yeah.
I will say though, I did listen. I did kind of. I told you this a little bit, but I did like when I was doing a drive early in the week. I was just like, let me see how good it actually is as a podcast. So I just like boot up the Twitch VOD, turn my screen off, and just had the Twitch VOD playing, like out of the van speakers as I was driving. I was by myself, by the way. But just first off, hearing my voice coming out of the van speakers was confusing because I'm listening to myself talk, and this is purely just this is so sad. I'm laughing at myself. I'm laughing at my own jokes, which is just
No, that's good.
that means I'm Justin though, laughing at my own jokes.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Being
Everybody
Justin
should laugh
is
at their own
good.
jokes.
Being Justin is good, really? I don't know about that one. But for context,
Hey, it beats being Chase.
this is very true. It definitely beats being me. For context, for those of you, Justin is my older brother who's currently listening to us on stream and could easily crash this call whenever the fuck he wanted to.
Yep. I'm surprised he hasn't done it yet.
No, he's respectful.
I'm surprised he hasn't done it yet.
Do a flip. I. Yeah,
I was waiting for the crash.
Nah. I did a flip. I just didn't have a camera, so don't.
I was waiting for you to crash down.
No, I'm skilled, yo.
Are you?
Fuck no. Not a chance in hell. Like, I will say I am still apparently more nimble than pretty much everybody that I work with because I'm like, let me just crawl up there. They're like, you ain't gonna fit. I was just like, watch the fat man go.
Fat man.
Yeah, bro. Dude, Monday.
God damn it.
Monday, and you're gonna be like, oh, that's bitch boy temperatures. The heat index. This is with humidity, by the way. The heat index for where I'm gonna work is 102.
Yeah, you guys are going through a heat wave. We're going through a rain wave.
Yeah,
we're going through an actual wave.
It's just you're driving through tsunami on your way to your destination.
Pretty much.
That was me coming home Wednesday night. I have never seen that. Like, I've never seen genuine flooding before. Like, I've seen water in high spots and stuff like that. I literally witnessed the highway flooded in some sections. I was like, holy fuck. Because I'm trying to leave work and I'm leaving earlier than the rest of the guys because I had to take a shipment to our a job location. So I was peeling off and I'm trying to go down the highway and the traffic is fucking backed up and I'm going over the interstate and I'm like, because I'm seeing interstate is complete gridlock. So I call one of the guys that I work with and I was just like, hey, by the way, don't take the interstate, it like at least at this exit, it is gridlocked. Like I don't know why. I don't know if it's flooding right now, and it was like the actual interstate was completely like flooded in a lot of the sections.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like
pretty much that's what kept us a little bit behind today.
Yeah.
Because fortunately we avoided the rain.
Oh.
But we went by places that had already rained a lot, and the pavement was slippery. There was traffic because it was probably way flooded of
one point
way ahead.
Because I was
Yeah, but fortunately we avoided that.
That's good. Because it's sketchy, especially like when there was actual standing water on the roads. Which if there's a lot of standing water on the roads, guys, and you're not sure how deep it is, don't drive in there. Just don't drive.
Don't go in there.
But I was going towards my exit, and there was a guy maybe about 5-6 car lengths in front of me, and I see him getting off, and he ain't slowing down. He's going his normal speed or whatever, and I just see him like hit like the low part of the on ramp, and water just all like over his, like it just splashed up over his car because there's like some standing water like right from like where you like right at the bottom of the on ramp, just whoosh. Yeah. I'm like, oh fuck, slowing right down to go through that. Yeah. The last thing I want to do is plow into water.
Yeah, no.
70 miles an hour.
No, your car is gonna become a submarine, man.
Yeah. So I slowed right down. I took my time going through the water, and then it was good, smooth sailing the rest of the way home.
Good. That's always good.
Yeah, I called up basically. Oh yeah, I called basically everybody that worked. I was just like, by the way, everything is flooding right now, and they're like, really? This is like, yes, it is atrocious leaving the shop.
Yeah, if you want to come here, don't.
If you want to come here, bring a car that turns into a boat, and then you'll be alright.
Exactly.
Oh, God's sake. So, I don't know about you. There's a few things that I'd like to talk about today.
Okay.
One of the things that I'd like to kind of bring up, and we were kind of talking about this individual in episode 0, but everyone's favorites. Now, it's interesting because I read some things as well that this individual was the hero for the wrong side. And I would like to talk about Mr. Grand Admiral Thrawn. Your fictional crush, as we kind of established in episode 0.
Yeah, Bradley Dopa thinks I want to marry Thrawn.
So you're saying when I go to your wedding, I have to bring a card cut out of Thrawn to your wedding?
If you do, I'm gonna slap you with it.
Bro.
I'm gonna slap you with it.
Are you gonna kiss it first, though? No, I'm kidding.
Asshole.
Oh God!
Well, can't the man just admire one of the great tacticians of the Star Wars universe?
But okay, Mister, you know everything and anything about Thrawn. What do you think? Because I don't know this. Because I did not dive as deep into Legends as you did. Was there ever an instance where Thrawn met or like heard about Luke? Like, because in the Ahsoka series, as you know, okay, because in the Ahsoka series, like after he got back to the main galaxy, I wonder what. Go ahead.
Oh no! That when he came back in the canon version, he's out of the loop.
Yeah. So I wonder, what do you think will? Because we saw kind of how he reacted to learning that Ahsoka was Anakin's Padawan. What do you think his reaction will be to him having not only a son, but a daughter as well.
He's probably gonna shit his pants. Okay, no. So, regarding the first thing you said, if Thrawn ever actually met Luke Skywalker on Legends, yes, like the first time we got introduced to Thrawn, not timeline wise, but as the books came out, it was an heir to the Empire, and that's after the Empire's come down. So he's very well aware of who everybody in the rebellion is. And actually, a good portion of that Thrawn trilogy is surrounded. It's around the fact that Thrawn and another Dark Jedi want to capture Luke, and actually, one of those guys actually clones Luke out of the hand he lost on Bespin.
Okay.
So
I actually vaguely remember seeing some stuff about like Luke being cloned, but I didn't realize Thrawn was involved in that.
Well, it was the other guy, not Thrawn, but it happens in one of the Thrawn books. I can't for the life of me remember the name of the guy, but yeah, it was like this mad Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Well, more like a dark Jedi. But judging by that, I think in canon, the second Thrawn figures out that Luke and Leia are the offspring of Mr. Anakin, I think it's gonna flip. Because let's remember, this is a guy who deeply respected Anakin Skywalker, and he figured out that Vader is Anakin.
Yeah.
And he deeply respected the man because he could feel and he could realize not only the power that he beholded, like he also knows that this is one of the great minds and the great strategists in all of the Empire.
Yeah.
And he has no mercy. And then he's gonna learn that, oh my god, one of the bigger leaders of the rebellion is his daughter.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have force powers? Well, she does, but he doesn't know that.
Right.
And then he's gonna hear that Luke is the sole Jedi in the galaxy. Well, by now we know that he's not the sole Jedi, but that's what he's gonna think.
Notorious. Not notorious, but
yeah.
Like the most well known.
And mind you, yeah, exactly. And mind you, there is this one novel that's canon called The Legends of Luke Skywalker. And it's a little bit more told from the perspective of everyday civilians or Empire people that hear about Luke Skywalker. And he's a legend. Like, these are people who have over exaggerated Luke's legend to the point that they say he cut off Star Destroyer in two all by himself. So you have this huge legend, and Thrawn is gonna hear that, and he's gonna go like, okay, I don't think he caught a Star Destroyer, but he did blow up a Death Star.
Yeah, and you're kind of like adding on to that as well. So especially with like the second Death Star, because one of the things that kind of referencing Mandalorian, where when Luke shows up, spoilers if you haven't seen The Mandalorian, that came out, it was season 2 that came out, what?
Yeah, that's season
4 years ago?
Something like that, yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah. When Moff Gideon realizes who it is, granted, pretty much everyone else there really didn't know. They're like, oh, it's a Jedi. But the camera cuts to Moff Gideon, and just the look of pure horror, because it's, like you said, the legend of Luke Skywalker, who, as far as most of the Empire was concerned, this man walked in with to the Emperor's throne room with Darth Vader, like handcuffed, if I recall, and walked out of the Emperor's throne room carrying a pretty much like a dying Darth Vader, and the Emperor like could only be assumed to be dead because there's no way that he would have let Luke and Vader leave. So I feel like that as well, kind of like hearing that might also kind of like give the okay, let's not try and like I feel like Luke might be one of the very few people that Thrawn is just like, I do not want to mess with him.
Yep. And the thing is, he knows he's gonna have to mess with him because that's the hero of the rebellion.
Right.
And yeah, like you said, like it's all about perspective. We're talking about the guy that went into a room with Vader and Palpatine and came out with a dying Vader, just like you said.
Yeah.
And having like and having Palpatine exploded, like, come on, this guy's the stuff of legends. Like, if you're an Imperial Stormtrooper who manages by some way, shape, or form to get out of the Death Star, the second Death Star in time, but you saw that, that's you're gonna go insane. Like, dude, this guy killed everybody.
Yeah. And
so yeah.
It's like that right there. I'm really interested to see how exactly they go about that, because it's interesting having these shows, especially like with Star Wars, because obviously you had the prequels and then you had like the original trilogy, and then like, I mean, you had Filoni throughout the Clone Wars, because one of the things I kept seeing as well was Filoni throughout the Clone Wars. If you like rewatch it, you'll know Anakin never met Grievous. So in the prequels, or in Revenge of the Sith, when Revenge of the third one, right? Yeah. When he finally meets Grievous, he's like, "Oh, you're shorter than I imagined,
expected."
Yeah, you're shorter than I expected. You had an entire like 7-season animated show, and out of all those episodes, because of that one little comment, Anakin never met Grievous.
Yep. Yeah, there's actually behind the scenes stuff where you can see Dave saying like, we had to try so hard to make them not meet because they're in the same episodes a lot.
Yeah.
Like in the same ship a lot.
Yep.
But they never meet. And that's the other thing, because and this is more a fan speculation, but it makes a lot of sense. He says that he imagined Grievous being taller. And that makes a lot of sense because a lot of the description of Grievous would come from Ahsoka. And Ahsoka's a tiny girl.
Yeah.
So to her, he's a fucking monster.
Actually, speaking of Ahsoka, another thing I kind of want to bring up is how her character arc was kind of like written in the Clone Wars, of at first kind of, and through like the use of Grievous, especially like how when she first encounters Grievous, it's the hotshot mentality of, oh, I can take this guy on, like I'm being trained by the Chosen One, this hotshot Padawan. Gets her ass kicked, barely like makes it out alive, and the next time she fights him, it's purely defensive, purely I am only fighting him to buy time for the rest of my crew to get to GTFO.
Yep.
And it's that level of even like continuity in a sense, because so many shows now, they wouldn't remember that kind of small nitpicky detail of, okay, in this one episode 5 seasons back, this character was like barely surviving and barely stood a chance, versus now where like same character is fighting the same character again, but because of the excellence in writing, they kept it of she is a much more skilled fighter here.
Yeah. I mean, she evolves a lot during the series.
Mm-hmm.
And this is actually I was talking to one of my cousins about this. Uh, but Ahsoka at the very beginning, if you watch the first Clone Wars movie, which let's be honest, is some of the worst Star Wars things ever. Uh, it was very rough to watch at the beginning. But Ahsoka during that and during the first couple seasons of Clone Wars, she's very annoying.
Yeah.
She's a very flat character. She has like no depth whatsoever. But then, and I saw a YouTube video about this where go, they make a deep dive into this, but they basically fix her in the span of 4 episodes, 4 different episodes, like in between the ending of season 2 and the beginning of season 3. And holy shit, she becomes this amazing character after that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just goes to show that the whole creative side, like, here's the thing with Star Wars fans. There are Star Wars fans who absolutely idolize Dave Filoni, and he's good. Not gonna lie, he's good. He did good. He's done pretty good things, pretty amazing stuff in Star Wars. But he's not the greatest showrunner in history. He relies a lot on Easter eggs and fan service. And he has to rub them in your face. Like, hey, I made the show called Ahsoka. Look, it's the guys from Rebels.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he does that a lot. Well, other showrunners, for example, John Favreau or Tony Gilroy, they're a little bit more subtle. Like, yes, they will have Easter eggs, but they're a little bit subtler. But Dave Filoni, for all the problems he also has a good way of telling stories. Not gonna lie, he has some pretty great episodes. Some of the best episodes, or at least some of my favorite Clone Wars episodes, are the more political ones. That are more based on dialogue than action.
Yeah.
And I think those are great.
And we'll talk about more of that in episode 0.
Exactly. You go to episode 0 and you'll hear more about this. But yeah, like Dave has that flaw, and that also that huge advantage of being a good writer, but he's not a god.
Yeah, and
it is very obvious in some episodes.
That's something that, like, I get people like being. I don't want to say the term hyper fans or like hyperfixation and stuff like that, but sometimes it does kind of seem like that. No offense. Again, this is my opinion. If anyone's listening to this and gets a little upset, I'm sorry, but this.
Hey, we welcome debate, but be respectful about it.
Yes, welcome to the Catacast.
Exactly. Like, we know you guys are gonna comment. We know you guys. Some of you, huge Star Wars fans, are gonna comment, or you're gonna probably get upset because we're saying some stuff. This is our opinion.
Yeah.
This is what we see as filmmakers, as fans, and honestly, this is yeah.
I wouldn't really say like. I wouldn't really say like I'm a Star Wars fan. Like, I like Star Wars, don't get me wrong. Like, I know more about Star Wars than I do like Star Trek. Am I a like diehard? I wouldn't even say die. Am I like a big fan of Star Wars? Kinda. Like, I'll go out of my way to like watch some Star Wars stuff if I hear that it's like super good. Like, I want to watch Andor. I really liked season 1. I want to watch season 2 possibly at some point. But I wasn't there every time a new episode aired. Like, oh my God, I gotta watch this. So especially like especially what I say with a grain of salt, because I don't know too much about Star Wars, unlike some other people. Canaz.
Hey, my collection just got bigger.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, your collection, motherfucker. You own pretty much everything that's Star Wars related.
I mean, I have some physical stuff. I have read most. I don't want to say all because I haven't read all, but I have read most of the canon stuff. I'm working my way through Legends because I had read a lot of it, but I haven't read everything, and I'm working on that via digital versions because I don't have the physical versions, and it's a little bit hard to get some of the stuff I'm reading uh, physically. One of the latest things I got, I found a discount, a discounted copy of Shadows of the Empire by Steve Perry, and I'm currently reading that. I actually have it in my hands at the moment.
Oh, nice.
Uh, and I have a pretty big library of Star Wars stuff. Digitally, it's huge.
Yeah.
Like I've probably indexed a lot of the things. Um, I probably invested more money in that than I should.
That's anything with collectors. What he's not mentioning, guys at home, is that he actually owns the biggest secret Star Wars vault down in Mexico.
Yeah.
He runs the Star Wars mafia down in Mexico.
I wish.
Don't tell anybody.
I wish.
Oh
no, but yeah.
I've seen the vault, Canaz. I've seen the photos. I know.
Oh, I know. No, like the fun thing about this is, for example, I got that book like a couple of months ago, the Shadows of the Empire one. And for those of you who don't know, Shadows of the Empire is something that came out, I want to say late 90s, probably 98-ish, 99.
It's older than I am. Fuck.
Yeah. But this was like the first Star Wars project that went multimedia. Because this was like a whole collection of stuff that they made, like a whole line of things. They made comic books. They made the book. They made a soundtrack for it that you can get today, a full original soundtrack. They made a video game for the Nintendo 64, and that toy line as well. So there were a lot of things. They made an audiobook as well. And recently I came across the book and it was discounted, so I got it. Like it cost me, I want to say like $5 instead of the normal 15 or $20.
That's not bad.
So I got it. No, it was a really good discount. That's why I got it.
Yeah.
Otherwise I wouldn't have. I was like, I cannot waste this opportunity. Do I have money? No, but I cannot waste this opportunity.
Dude,
credit card swipe.
Dude, like I get like collecting and stuff like that, but it genuinely, in certain regards, it upsets me when I see something that like came out like the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and I'm like I see it like online and stuff like that, and I'm like, I want to try that. I want to experience that in a sense, and not quite to like the like originality of it, but I mean, God's sake, you know my music tastes, and I'm mentally, I am very old. Mentally, I'm very fucking old when it comes to like the taste in music, art, that kind of stuff, photography. But it angers me when it's just like, oh, do you want to like do this? Awesome. You need to drop more money now on this thing than you would on a brand new thing. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Why is
that's where that's where you have to like be careful about things. Recently, like where I was going with the whole Shadows of the Emperor thing as well, I got the book very discounted, right?
Yeah.
And it got to my place on May the 3rd. So just in time for May the 4th. Now, for May the 4th, down here in Mexico, Dope and I, we were going to host a trivia night at a little cafe slash film theater.
Okay.
They recruited us to make the trivia and host the night. They gave away a copy of, like a book copy of the script for A New Hope. It was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But that same day, in the morning, we went to a con. We went to a little con just to see what was around, say hello to some friends, and I ended up finding there some people who were selling their collections.
Yeah.
And when people tend to sell their collections, they tend to sell them for lower values.
Yeah.
So
yeah, in a sense, at that point, it makes sense because like if they're selling their whole entire collections, they're trying to do it as like a bulk thing. So the more they sell, the more money they actually end up with.
Yeah, something like that. So we were going around and we actually found this little 3D printed keychains that were N64 games.
Okay.
So I ended up buying the Shadows of the Empire one, and the Rogue Squadron one, and another one that was a replica of an NES game, which was The Empire Strikes Back. So I got all three, and while I was doing that, Dopa went around to see one of the guys who was selling part of their collection, and she got for a total deal, I want to say it was around $8 or $9. She got the whole line of comic books for Shadows of the Empire as well.
What the fuck?
And she got them for me.
Aww.
And she was like, "Here, have this." And I was like, "Holy crap! How much was this?" Oh, like $9. What?
You're like, if I could propose again, I would.
Yeah, and the other thing we ended up finding at that point, in one of those moments, in one of those people selling their collections, I was browsing. They had a box full of magazines and comic books.
Mm-hmm.
And I was browsing, and most of it was fairly recent. They had a few magazines that were old, but I'm not that interested in getting the magazines.
Yeah.
But then I flipped, and I saw a Star Wars reprint. It's not the original one, but it's a 90s reprint, which is still worth quite a bit of money, of Star Wars #1 from the original Marvel line from 1977. So the first ever Star Wars comic.
How much?
It was like $10.
Why can't I, motherfucker? Like I got a story to tell after. Son of a bitch! What are you getting fucking lucky with these finds?
Dude, honestly, it was. Dude, look for garage sales, man. Stuff like that. You never know what you can find. I've actually found I one time in a garage sale, a friend of mine found this huge X-wing, vintage X-wing, that he got it for me for like I want to say $15.
Uh-huh.
And it's sitting on my shelf right now. And I actually got that X-wing signed by Colin Cantwell, may he rest in peace, who was the original designer of the
lucky bastard.
Yeah, I happened to be his translator at a con.
Really?
So I had him sign my X-wing. Yeah, I have the pictures. God. I can post them somewhere.
Every single time I hear about like you guys getting like these really cool things signed, all I can think about is how just vexed I am that Retro Games Con 2020 had to be 2020, and I never got that chance to meet fucking Steve Downs, voice Master Chief. Oh yeah. To this day, I'm still just so upset about that.
That's why I tell you, you need to go into the city.
So fuck the city, dude. So much effort. It's too many people. That's too many people.
I know. But here's the thing: there are cons all the time on the city.
I know. Legitimately, I just saw. I think it was for the last weekend. Like I saw it on like Sunday night. It's just like the Buffalo Comic Con, and I'm like, fucking really? Why am I just seeing this now?
Yeah. Honestly, Buffalo Comic Con, I think I saw something about that and it looked cool.
The very first thing I saw was like a life-size Dalek there, and I'm like, if I had known this was a thing, I would have fucking gone.
Honestly, and here's the secret: the bigger the con, the less deals you're gonna find.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No. Well, that's because like that's kind of why like I want to start with like the smaller cons. I love how I'm saying like I want to start with the smaller venues, and then I'm going to Louder Than Life in Kentucky in September, and like I want to do the small venues. Fuck people, and then I'm gonna go do that. That is,
I mean, me. No, and here's the thing: do go to the big cons too, because the big cons are really fun. And you can find a lot of things, but you're probably not gonna find great deals.
Yeah.
You might find a few good deals. Like a couple weeks ago, we went to something called the Mexico Gaming Experience, which is a tabletop gaming convention.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have much money. We paid the tickets. And we were like, well, we have like $50, a little bit over $50.
Yeah.
Let's say we had like $75 between Dope and myself to spend. We're like, let's go see. Let's go have fun. Let's try out some board games. So let's see what they have. And if we don't end up buying anything, we don't end up buying anything.
Right.
And we ended up buying 3 different tabletop games.
Jesus Christ.
Because there were really good deals.
Yeah.
We bought I think the most expensive one we got was a Space Mountain themed one. Which was $35. And it was really good. And I ended up seeing another tabletop game, which is the Fallout tabletop game. And I've only seen that for around $75. I saw it there and I was like, it's $75. We don't have that much money. I could sign it on the credit card, but I don't wanna.
Yeah.
Instead of that, I'm gonna sign 2 Lorcana decks for each of us. Because we do play a lot of Lorcana. And instead, I happened to, before I came in on this trip I am right now, I needed to change the tires for my car.
Mm-hmm.
So we bought the tires for the car. I went to change them, and very near where the shop is, where they changed my tires, there is a shop where all the Amazon returns and Temu returns end up.
Okay.
So they sell some pretty horrible and terrible products for very cheap, but sometimes you find some good gems. I've bought action figures in there. I've bought some comic books in there. I've bought electronics in there actually. There's a couple of RGB lights that we use for the Geeks on Fire shows that came from that shop. And I happened to be there, and Dopa wanted some gym equipment, so I popped over to the store to see if I found something. I only ended up finding elastic bands for resistance bands.
Yeah.
So I ended up buying a kit for her, and as I was exiting the store, there it was. The Fallout tabletop game. For 17 bucks.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Out of $75. 17 bucks.
Keep an eye out for the Stardew Valley tabletop game. because people go
I will.
feral over that game.
Yeah, I've seen it. The thing is, I've never even seen tabletop games in that store before.
Oh, really?
No, I've never seen a tabletop game in the store, and I tend to go not every day, not every week, but I tend to go at least once a month.
I mean, yeah.
And the thing is, it sells right. It sells fast.
Of course it
People
does.
go there because it's fucking cheap as hell. Like, you can get stuff for $1.
Yeah, and like I wish there was stuff. As far as I'm aware, there's nothing like that even remotely close to me.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah,
it's in the city, bro.
Fuck the cities. Like, what was I gonna say? Oh, I've always like finding good deals is something that I'm not the great. I think probably one of the best deals that I got ever.
Yeah,
was at my local flea market, and I found a pretty much mint condition, still working, came with a game plus the charging dock, Nintendo 3DS. $40.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good deal.
I
haven't been able to find one.
Yeah, it still works too. It needs charging, but because I asked it, I was just like, "Does it still work?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, I was like, "Really?" This is when I was like a younger kid. He's like, "Yeah, come on." Him and I and my dad walked over to the little food court area or whatever. Because there's like this because it's the flea market's at a drive-in movie theater, so like a little food snack bar area. Walked in, fucking plugged it in, fucking booted right up, and charging light came on, and hit the switch, came right on. I'm like, $40.
Damn.
He's like, stuck his hand out,
That's pretty good deal.
Fucking shook his hand, handed him $40, and I had myself a 3DS. And believe it or not, that was actually one of the first times I realized I like the color purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors. Because it was purple. And it was one of those things just like, I don't care that it's purple. It's $40 fucking dollars. So, But nowadays, like, whenever I go, we went a few weeks ago, my folks and I. And I had mentioned it on stream about a month ago. I'm looking to get into some of the original Pokemon games. And well, Chase, you can. I understand like emulation is a thing, but kind of like I was mentioning earlier, it's just I kind of want to like not necessarily have the nostalgia because I never had that to begin with, but I want to like play the games akin to how they were played and on the devices that they were played on back in the day. Like I still have my DS that plays Game Boy Advance games. So if I pick up a Game Boy Advance Pokemon game like Sapphire or like Ruby or Sapphire or Emerald, I think, then I could just play them. And it's one of those things that for me, I want the portability. It's like, oh, you can just emulate it on your computer. That's not what I want, because I do drives a lot of like a good portion of the time, and I always beat the other drivers there. So I've got 5-10 minutes of downtime, sometimes like 15-20 minutes of downtime. For me, that's perfect. I'm gonna pull out my DS, and I'm just gonna like play a little bit of Pokemon for 5-10 minutes. All right, the driver's pulling in. I'm gonna close the DS. The game doesn't. Like I'll save the game or whatever. I'm not sure how it works, but it doesn't. It just goes into sleep mode. It's not like I have to wait for the thing to boot up and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like what I've heard why people like love the Nintendo Switch, love the Steam Deck. Is you're not sitting there and waiting for the boot up time for your game. It's just, oh, I gotta go do this. Let me just turn the screen off real quick, set it down, come back 10 minutes later, boot it back up again. Like just turn the screen back on, and you're back at your game.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I want to go back into that. And I never experienced old Pokemon. I mean, I think I played a little bit of it's either Sword or Shield, one of the two, on the Switch.
Okay.
I don't want to play the 2D games.
Oh yeah. I will insist you need to start with like if you can get your hands on Sapphire, good. But if you can get your hands on one of the original Blue and Red, oof.
Yeah.
Those are the best.
I don't
I mean, to be sure, I haven't played Sapphire, so
I don't because the DS can only play Game Boy Advanced games along with the regular DS games, and I don't think Blue and Red were.
No, those were for the original.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be compatible. Unless by some miracle I can find a Game Boy Advance as a Game Boy, but like, because I never. For me, it was one of those things that it's a Pokemon game. First off, the downside about my age is I grew up like when I really started getting into gaming and stuff like that. Everything was already starting to go because I still went straight to computer games. I didn't really do like Xbox, PlayStation, stuff like that. I've always kind of been PC on the side of PC, so everything was pretty much all digital. Like there was a very few games where I got like had the actual physical discs for, but everything was digital because I just had Steam. So it never occurred to me about reproductions and fake copies of things. Yeah, like I was at the flea market a few weeks ago. I found 2 copies of Pokemon Sapphire.
Yeah.
And this is before I did much market research. I did some and was baffled at the price of Pokemon Sapphire online on the used market. And I quickly discovered, because I asked the dude, there was one in this like plastic case, and one that was like a little cartridge case, nothing like fancy, and one that wasn't.
Yeah.
So I held up the one that was in the case. It was like, how much? Dude goes, $20 for the fake copy sitting on the table, $80 for the one that you're holding right there.
Yeah. That makes sense.
For me, who even for like modern AAA games, I think the most I've ever spent on a game is $60. For like I said, like a big, massive modern AAA game. $80 for a game that came out the year that I was born? Buddy! Holy shit! And then I fucking looked it up afterwards, and it was the cheapest one that I found for an authentic copy.
Yeah, you're gonna find that a lot. But also, like, don't disregard the Facebook Marketplace.
I looked; they were well over 100 on Marketplace too.
I know, but just keep on looking, and even going to there must be, because I don't know if, like how common this is over where you are, but down here there are a lot of Facebook groups that sell stuff. Right now, I went into one of my Facebook groups, and I just found an original NES with Duck Hunt and with controller. The problem is it doesn't have the RCA cable nor the power cable, but it does work. Let's see. This 300, 600, 800. That's $40 for the whole thing.
So the
800 pesos, $40.
Yeah, it's for me. It's hard because, like, for me, it's like especially when it comes like something old and like more unique and stuff like that. I want to be able to actually like see what it is to make sure it's like if I want to get an authentic copy. Now, I've had since done the research on the authentic copies versus the fake copies, and like for me, it's a case of I don't care about the authenticity of it, but one of the things that I heard was on the fake copies, the saves are more liable to be corrupted.
Yeah, that is
so. it's like, oh, you're paying all this money for authentic copy. No, I'm paying this money because I want to actually make sure my save games like save, because I've played through Ark Survival Evolved and it's like really early stages, and I have lost hundreds upon hundreds of hours in Ark, along with countless amounts of different save files because of that.
Yeah.
Fucking hammered. Jesus. So I open up Facebook Marketplace and I look up specifically Pokemon Sapphire. Because again, that's what I found. So I at least have a kind of reference in a sense.
Okay.
So there's Pokemon DS games, but it's Platinum, Pearl, and Diamond. But it's $120 for all three.
That's not terrible.
For $150 is Pokemon Sapphire.
You get three.
So
Uh-huh.
that Pokemon Sapphire
Keep on.
and a Game Boy Advance Glacier Edition, which is like this transparent Game Boy. And
that's pretty cool.
The photo is of the thing working, but the screen looks super, super faded, like more than like it traditionally would be, I think. And the game looks fucking hammered.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna send you a photo on IG real quick.
Yeah.
But it just looks hammered as fuck. And again, I found a copy for $80 that like looked pretty much brand new. I mean, you're getting a games console with it too, but still.
I just found, just looking at one of the groups, I just found an original Game Boy Pocket for $60.
Really?
Yep. And I'm gonna send you the pictures. Oh my god! Yeah, that looks beaten up.
Yeah.
That tells me it's an original.
That's the thing. Is like, is it original? Most likely, but still, that thing is just.
It must work still.
Yeah. Like this, because like the screen in the post that I sent you was like how that in that one the screen's like fairly bright. You could barely tell that the screen was on.
Fair. Yeah, that might not be the greatest deal.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing is like up around me. That's like the one thing, because I mean you're relatively localized to like Mexico City. So there's your population density, like there's a lot more people down there that will have that kind of stuff. Whereas up by me, that's the other thing. Up by me, if I want to go look at something like this, there's like, and this is the biggest like downside for me. All right, so that for example, I want to go back to that Game Boy Advance plus Pokemon Sapphire one.
Yeah.
If I were to go meet with this dude, either option A is we find a halfway point, or B, I'm carting my happy ass all the way out there. There goes, and I'm not even kidding, at least 2 hours at minimum out of my day for this.
Oh, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
That's where a lot of my like they go out to the city more and stuff like that. There's 2 hours out of my day right there just to go like look at this.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, you could always try to reach a deal for where he's probably gonna charge you a little more, but for him to send it over to you.
And then again, you can't really get a good look at the merchandise before you buy it.
That is true.
Because like I keep getting stuff recommended to me by like a DK Oldies.
Oh yeah, DK Oldies is good.
God, the prices on their site though.
Yeah, that's the problem. But they have really good quality stuff.
It makes sense, but so if I were to say, like, for them, their prices on So like if I were to say, all right, I want to see if I can get myself a Game Boy Advance through them. Oh, that's actually not bad. But I mean, it ain't bad. Oh, never mind. That's
What?
so refurbished. Game Boy Advanced system, SP system, Cobalt Blue with charger, $185.
It's refurbished.
Yeah.
I mean, you're paying for the whole refurbishment, which is good because at least you know that they're going to give you some quality. But yeah, that's a little bit like. Don't get me wrong, I like the KODs. I'm a fan of their TikTok channel. I watch how they send the console
Packages
to
and
the
stuff
game.
like that. Yeah.
I love watching them, but I cannot afford anything on this.
No. But
It's hard.
it's like I'm like also like going through it and stuff like that. Like I understand like older games are like super popular and stuff like that. But holy shit, the price is like so looking through their thing right now. All right.
Yeah.
We'll say Pac-Man Collection Game Boy Advanced game. All right. $10.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay.
Legend of Zelda Classic Game Boy Advance game. $50.
Oh well, yeah. Some titles are way more expensive than others.
Pokemon Leaf Green is $170, and that is on sale from 200. Oh, sorry, that was cosmetically flawed cartridge. A good cartridge is $240. Is $35 for a game that it's stuff like that. I just don't get.
Some cartridges are way popular.
You're
That
cutting.
is bullshit. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so you're cutting in and out.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, some of those cartridges like are way more popular than that times up the price. Like I've seen games for the N64 go from 50 $50 all the way to $300. Like I saw Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time going for $100, whilst I saw Shadows of the Empire going for $2
Mm-hmm.
on the same store.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's some of the more popular ones, games that have carry rating, and so especially games that those tend to go way up in price.
Shits and giggles. I've searched. I've gone through and I'm searching it by price high to low. So it's out of stock right now. And this is just Nintendo games. The highest thing is a game called Little Samson for the NES. Guess how much this game costs?
I'm gonna say somewhere around $600.
You are so off.
So okay.
You are cold. You are fucking frozen cold, dude.
But am I
You
over
are low by a long shot.
1,000?
Still low.
Really?
$2,799.
Damn, that's
It has 2 reviews.
ah.
Oh, they're fucking. Oh my god! I think people actually fucking bought this because it says verified buyer. Jesus fucking Christ!
Yeah.
$2,000. It's almost $3,000. I could buy a nice lens for that.
Oh yeah.
I'm curious. So what is? Can I just see? All right. Let's so what's how about PlayStation? How about PlayStation? Oh, you can get a PlayStation 1 for $75.
That's a really good.
I still actually have my PlayStation 1.
I do have mine. It doesn't fully work. I need to get it repaired, and I thankfully found someone who can repair it.
Hey,
I just need the money to do it
yeah.
because I also need to repair my N64.
Oh, you have an N64? Nice.
Yeah, I have a few consoles. Here's the thing: the latest console I have, that's not my little Chinese console I have for emulations.
Hmm.
But the latest console I have, the Wii. I have a Wii.
Yeah. I thought you had a Switch.
And no, I don't have a Switch.
Oh.
Dopa has a Switch.
Oh, okay.
So Dopa has a Switch and an Xbox One, I believe.
Yeah.
And I have an N64 that has a broken controller port. The specifically playable. So I need to get that fixed. I have two classic Xbox because a friend of mine gave me one. I bought the N64 and she was like, "I'm also getting rid of the Xbox. Like, if you give me $2 more, you can take it." I'm like, "Okay." I do believe it was she was getting rid of Brexit stuff, but I'm not gonna ask. So that's how I get two Xbox, and I have a Wii. I have a PS1, the smaller version, and that one, the problem it has is the lid does not close, so it won't run. And I do believe that's all. Well, I have one of those cheap consoles that has the richer games, like the 250 games in one.
Oh yeah.
Kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've got PlayStation 1, the bigger one that has like the full controller with the joysticks. PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, Wii, and Switch was the latest gen thing.
Nice.
Not gonna lie, there have been a few times that I've considered. I can't remember what the fuck it was for. It was for a very specific game that was. I think it was a PlayStation game. It was only on PlayStation. But I considered. I can't remember what it was for the life of me now, but I was considering getting a PlayStation at one point, like a 5. And I decided against it. Probably the next console I'm like eyeing that like modern one that I'm eyeing is actually a Steam Deck. I'd like to get my hands on a Steam Deck because being able to play like fucking farm sim like 20 like modern farm sim. Oh, dude.
Absolutely. I'm also eyeing it, but I'm also an emulation console called the Detroit Pocket. They released the 5 earlier. This year or last year.
Canaz, I think the internet's dying on you.
Oh no!
Is
that there?
It's going like when you're talking for an extended period of time, it's going like very like robotic-y.
Oh boy, let's hope it gets more stable. So is this better?
For now.
Okay. It was also that I was moving around. I'm a stay put on my chair.
Damn it, Canaz. I thought you had a headset on.
I have my headset on. I'm on my phone.
Yeah, it's like I thought your headset because it sounds like when you like lean away, it sounds like you're getting further away from the microphone. But if you have a headset on,
wait, hang on. Let's see.
I wonder if
Can
your
you
thing
hear?
your thing swaps to your phone.
Could be. Let me tap on the mic. Can you hear this?
No.
Okay, you are the microphone of my phone.
That's why the mic there's a subtle shift in mic quality. I didn't think much of it.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Can I do anything about that? Probably not.
Did Discord finally finish updating at your computer?
No, it did not.
What the fuck?
I have no
Bruh.
No idea. It's fine.
Canaz.
What?
Black Ops 2 is no longer set in the future.
No, it's not.
No, like when the final mission of Black Ops 2 was June 19th, 2025.
Yeah. I saw the news earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember now. I also have, and maybe actually need to play because I have a Game Boy Advance, like the first Game Boy Advance.
What was that?
A Game Boy Advance.
Oh, nice.
I do have that, but it's been broken for years now because it was stuck in a box. So that one I need to repair.
Yeah. There was in like the next town over from where I live, there was this old like retro games shop. And this is like when this is like before like 2008. I think they actually went out of business in in like the market crash of like 08 or whatever. But I distinctly remember it because I used to play on the PlayStation 2 a game called Burnout 3 Takedown.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Religiously to the point that the disc stopped working and I was devastated. And then one day we found out that they did disc repairs, so I saved up all of my allowance money, and one day when I had off from school I had my mother take me down and I like brought the disc with me and they actually repaired it and I was on cloud nine because I went because I would play that game like almost every night I'd get home from school. And I literally went like months without playing it. I was so sad. And when I got it repaired again, dude. But now it's just like now it's the nostalgia of I wish that store still existed because they probably have the goddamn game that I'm looking for.
Probably, yeah. That's damn it. You reminded me of a game I used to play.
Really?
So on the original Xbox, there was this one game called Midtown Man. Holy shit, it was fun.
What was the game
It
called?
just Midtown Madness.
Interesting, because like I said, I mean, like I'm sorry, but you keep cutting out, Kenneth. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, man. Yeah, Midtown Madness 3, and it was an original Xbox game, and you would drive around Cali or San Francisco.
All right.
And it was because you could go you couldn't get out of the car, and there were missions, but there was also like open world. So you could just go and see how many things you could run over before the car got completely wrecked. You could go into the subway and try to raise the subway.
You know that sounds kind of like, and it kind of reminds me of Driver San Francisco. Because with Driver San Francisco, you couldn't get out of the car. It was like a completely like open world thing. But like as you progress with the missions, like you progress, like you unlock more areas of San Fran. And but what's interesting about that game was you kind of like this in the story of the game. You're like in this coma, so you can actually like have this kind of like outer body experience where you can like possess other people driving, and yeah, so you can just be like, I want to drive that truck right now. You could just like pop out and possess like the body or like the soul of this like dude driving like a dump truck and just drive around a dump truck. And it was hilarious because like you could legitimately like take over a dude in a muscle car, run into a cop, and then take over just some other random like vehicle passing by, and then watch as the muscle car tears off and the cops start chasing the dude.
Amazing.
And if you get into a vehicle, and if there's like a passenger in the vehicle, like the character, because like as far as like the passenger is concerned, all of a sudden like the person that they're driving with just starts acting completely like a psychopath. Just all of a sudden they completely changed. But what's interesting is like you hear like the character you're playing, Tanner, like you hear his voice, but you could be like you could take the body of just like some teenage girl and or it's like some like middle-aged man or whatever, and you are able to converse with, or like the character will like talk to the person in the passenger seat, and you'll be like, Steve, why are you driving like a complete and total psychopath? And Dan's just like, oh come on, it's so much fun. But it come like, as far as the passenger is concerned, it's coming out as that like elderly man's voice, just like what the fuck is going on? And you're just like doing donuts and shit like that. The passenger's freaking the fuck out, and like you are just like woohoo.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
That was
my god!
I was trying to 100% that game. It was like one of the very first like games I tried to like fully complete. But there was this one racing mission that like to progress the story you had to get. I don't know if it was you had to get first. You had to beat a certain time, and the track was just so fucking hard. I couldn't get it. I was like at the very edge of the cutoff every single time. There's restart after restart after restart. Come on. It was like the final mission that I needed to progress that part of the story too, because like you had to do like a certain amount of missions to progress the story, and it was like at the very edge of those like the final ones. Like complete this race to like unlock the next like story mission, and I'm like, I can't do it.
Oh my god.
God. Yeah. So
how far along are we into this?
we're about an hour 22. I'd say it's 11:30, and honestly and truly, I'd say it's a pretty good episode 1. What do you think? Is there anything else you want to mention for this episode? Since especially you have microphone issues.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to stop for today. We still have more to talk about. We can focus on that on the next episode.
Well, in the next episode, hopefully, maybe I might have picked up one of the original Pokemon games. Who knows? Because if I find it again, I'm gonna try to fucking haggle with the dude. Because
you
never know. And especially now that I know that's like one of the cheapest copies of the game in that like good of condition that I found.
Yeah.
So
let's hope he still has it.
Yeah, right. It's been 3 weeks. But yeah, so guys, so folks, I do hope you enjoyed this first episode of the Catacast. Canaz, been lovely talking to you again.
Same here. It's been lovely to hang out.
Yeah. Anything you want to say for the wonderful folks on YouTube and Spotify?
Let's see. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe, follow us on Spotify. I don't know if you subscribe, but yeah, do whatever you need to do. Check out the LOC on YouTube. Join our Discord. We have a Discord. And go check out my shop if you want. I have a couple of new designs and dropping designs at least every other week. Geeky designs. We'll leave a link in the description. We just launched them. Hopefully you like them. And yeah, I think that's all. Well, follow us on Twitch as well. And that's it. At least I think so. Am I forgetting anything?
No. Justin just put in the Twitch chat cause chaos. I'm honestly surprised Justin is still
chaos.
awake at this hour and he did not fall asleep listening to
Same,
you
I
and
thought he
I
had-
rant on.
I mean, it's very.
It's 11:30 at night.
It's very hard to fall asleep to us.
Wow. Yeah, because you're here. People stay awake for you.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, that's fine.
Please, everyone stays awake for Canaz. They want to hear the glorious Hollywood life.
Mm,
Just end on that note, folks.
I don't know about that.
Jesus. I hope you enjoyed listening to us. It's Chase.
It's Canaz.
There you go. Remember, good luck, have fun, and take care. Hear y'all in the next one. Ta-ra!
See you later.